Joining us now is Andrew Rokovich. He's a candidate for Victoria ISD School Board District 6. So thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So District 6 is one of the super districts, encompasses about half of Victoria ISD. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to run for this position.
Well, our kids in Victoria, it's very important. You know, for a long time we've had a lack of transparency and a lack of clear goals for VISD. I've noticed, you know, in the past 10 to 15 years, every single year our scores go down and down and down. And right now we just came out of a lawsuit, a statewide lawsuit that has been kind of shielding us from last year's scores, and they just recently came out and they're worse than we anticipated. At this point, VISD only has 2 schools that are above passing grades, and that's a detriment to our children. So something has to be done, and I feel like I can go in there and put some eyes on it in a different way and hopefully get some different outcomes for our children.
And it's really important for our school board to be diversified and really reflect our community. Tell us a little bit about your background and, you know, kind of how that will play into your role on the board if you're elected.
Well, that's a long conversation. I've done a lot of work nationally and at the state level in politics, and I've learned a lot along the way. I've learned how a savvy bureaucrat can really stifle the goals and the outcomes of an elected official, and that's what I see happening in our community. Now, we have a new superintendent, and everyone has high hopes for her and for the position. However, that understanding of how a bureaucrat can really stop what you want to do and change the outcome, usually by delaying tactics, is something that not just VISD but local communities across the country are lacking. Is that ability to say, no, this is how we're going to do it, and not only are we going to do it this way, we're going to do it quickly.
So are the test scores the biggest challenge that you feel the district is facing right now, or what do you think is the biggest challenge?
Well, the test scores are the biggest, result that we want. I think the test scores are low from an accumulation of a lot of problems. The biggest one being transparency and addressing the issue. You know, the last calendar year that we have for VISD, the 23-24 year, they put out a budget that they repeated over and over as $134 million. The actual budget was $154 million, and they actually spent $207 million. So $207 million at VISD equates to over $15,000 per student, and our outcomes are atrocious. For $15,000 per student, you know, there's plenty of private schools in town that would take that money and provide a great education. So I don't think it's a dollar thing. I think it's an oversight thing and a transparency thing. We refuse to admit the issues we're having, and we just come back and ask for more funds to kind of kick the can down the road.
So how would you work to strengthen the relationship between the school district and the community? This
is what I'm doing right here. I could promise you that there's no one out there on your airwaves that know that we spent $207 million last year in our school district. Our administration will still tell you it's 134 million is what we spent, and it's simply not true. You know, all of the data is there for anyone to gather, but as long as our leaders aren't presenting it in a way that is understandable, the communities continue to have distrust.
Mm-hmm. And for those people who may feel that you know, oh, it's just a school board election, what's your message to them to really get out and vote for, you know?
This is the most important election in Victoria. I would say it's even more important than your federal elections. The vast majority of the budget spent in Victoria County, or the tax dollars spent in Victoria County, goes through VISD. It's the largest employer of employees in Victoria, and its main goal is to educate our children. Its outcome is so important that it comes first. And I'll give you some statistics on that. In District 6, there was over 10,000 people that voted in the general election. 9,000 of them voted for Donald Trump. In the last election, the same exact pool of voters for VISD had 980 votes. That's a huge, huge difference. Us having a turnout of 2 and 3% for these major elections that control most of our money has to change in Victoria.
We need the same turnout for whether it's local,
yes,
national, any of that. So
Yes, we do.
well, thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us. Again, Andrew Rokovich, candidate for District 6, Victoria ISD, and best of luck in the election.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, stay with us. Up next, we're going to talk more about the upcoming election and also the push to get voters to the poll.
Restream all